Did you know that many people report feeling a strong sense of intuition when it comes to love? Studies show that our gut feelings can actually be influenced by emotional and spiritual signals. When it comes to waiting for that special someone, it can be a frustrating and confusing experience. You might find yourself wondering if you're just being paranoid, or if there's a greater force at play. As Christians, we believe that God has a plan for our lives, and that includes our love lives. So, is God sending you signals to wait for that special someone? I believe the answer is yes, and in this video, we're going to explore some of the signs that might indicate you need to slow down and trust in God's timing. It's not about sitting around twiddling your thumbs, but about being aware of the signals that can guide you towards the right person at the right time. So, let's dive in and see what these signals might look like. One of the most common signs that God might be sending you is unexpected delays in relationships. You might meet someone, and things seem to be moving along just fine, but then suddenly, something happens, and the relationship stalls. It could be a job opportunity that takes them to the other side of the country, or a personal crisis that they need to attend to. Whatever the reason, these delays can be really frustrating, but they might be a sign that God is intervening to slow things down and give you both some time to grow and prepare for what's to come. I've seen this happen in my own life, where I was convinced that I'd found the one, but things didn't work out, and I was left feeling confused and disappointed. But looking back, I realized that God was trying to tell me something, that I wasn't ready for that level of commitment, and that I needed to focus on my own personal growth and development. When we're stuck in a cycle of disappointment and frustration, it can be hard to see the bigger picture. But if we can take a step back and trust that God has our best interests at heart, we might just see that these delays are actually a blessing in disguise. So, if you're experiencing unexpected delays in your relationships, take a deep breath and try to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than a setback. Another sign that God might be sending you is a sense of peace or clarity when considering your current relationship status. You might be feeling anxious or uncertain about your love life, but then suddenly, you have a moment of clarity where you realize that you're exactly where you need to be. This sense of peace can be a powerful signal that God is working in your life, guiding you towards the right path. I remember when I was single, I would often feel a sense of restlessness, like I was meant to be doing something more. But then I started to focus on my prayer life, and I began to feel a sense of peace about my situation. I realized that I wasn't single by accident, but because God was preparing me for something better. When we're in tune with God's Spirit, we can sense when things are aligning with His plan, and that sense of peace can be a powerful signal that we're on the right track. So, if you're feeling anxious or uncertain about your love life, take some time to focus on your prayer life and see if you can sense that peace and clarity that comes from being in tune with God's Spirit. Another sign that God might be sending you is the presence of certain coincidences or serendipitous events that seem too aligned to ignore. You might meet someone and then keep running into them in unexpected places. Or you might stumble upon a book or article that speaks directly to your current situation. These coincidences can be a powerful signal that God is at work, guiding you towards the right person or opportunity. I've experienced this in my own life, where I've met people or stumbled upon opportunities that seemed like more than just a coincidence. And looking back, I realized that God was guiding me towards something greater. When we're open to God's guidance, we start to see the world in a different way. We start to see that everything is connected, and that even the smallest events can be a part of a larger plan. So, if you're experiencing coincidences or serendipitous events that seem too aligned to ignore, take a step back and try to see the bigger picture. You might just see that God is sending you a signal that something big is on the horizon. Another sign that God might be sending you is moments of self-reflection or personal growth that suggest the need to wait. You might be feeling restless or unsatisfied with your current situation, and that can be a signal that you need to focus on your own personal growth and development. I've been there, where I felt like I was stuck in a rut and I didn't know how to move forward. But then I started to focus on my prayer life. and I began to see areas where I needed to grow and improve. And that's when things started to shift, and I began to see progress in my life. When we're willing to do the hard work of self-reflection and personal growth, we open ourselves up to God's guidance and wisdom, and that's when we start to see real change and transformation in our lives. So, if you're feeling restless or unsatisfied with your current situation, take some time to focus on your own personal growth and development. You might just see that God is sending you a signal that it's time to wait and focus on yourself. Another sign that God might be sending you is receiving advice from trusted friends or mentors that resonates deeply. You might be feeling uncertain or confused about your love life, and then someone you trust gives you some advice that really speaks to you. That can be a powerful signal that God is using that person to guide you towards the right path. I've experienced this in my own life, where someone I trusted gave me some advice that really resonated with me. And looking back, I realized that God was using that person to guide me towards something better. When we're open to guidance and wisdom from others, we can receive valuable insights that help us navigate our love lives. And that's especially true when we're surrounded by people who are rooted in God's wisdom and love. So, if you're receiving advice from trusted friends or mentors that resonates deeply, take a step back and try to see if it's a signal from God that you need to listen to. Another sign that God might be sending you is feeling a strong pull towards spiritual practices or guidance that emphasizes patience. You might be feeling drawn to certain scriptures or devotional materials that focus on waiting and trusting in God's timing. That can be a powerful signal that you need to slow down and focus on your spiritual growth and development. I've experienced this in my own life, where I felt drawn to certain scriptures or devotional materials that really spoke to me. And looking back, I realized that God was guiding me towards a deeper level of spiritual growth and maturity. When we're in tune with God's Spirit, we can sense when we need to focus on our spiritual growth and development, and that's especially true when it comes to our love lives. So, if you're feeling a strong pull towards spiritual practices or guidance that emphasizes patience, take a step back and try to see if it's a signal from God that you need to listen to. Another sign that God might be sending you is the presence of red flags in potential partners that encourage waiting for the right one. You might meet someone, and everything seems great on the surface, but then you start to notice certain behaviors or habits that don't align with your values or goals. That can be a powerful signal that God is warning you to wait and not settle for someone who isn't right for you. I've seen this in my own life, where I met someone who seemed great at first, but then I started to notice certain behaviors that didn't align with my values or goals. And looking back, I realized that God was warning me to wait and not settle for someone who wasn't right for me. When we're open to God's guidance, we can sense when someone isn't right for us. And that's especially true when it comes to red flags that might indicate a deeper issue. So, if you're noticing red flags in potential partners, take a step back and try to see if it's a signal from God that you need to wait and focus on finding the right person. In conclusion, waiting for that special someone can be a frustrating and confusing experience. But if we're open to God's guidance, we can sense when He's sending us signals to wait, whether it's unexpected delays, a sense of peace, coincidences, self-reflection, advice from trusted friends or mentors, a strong pull towards spiritual practices, or the presence of red flags. These signals can guide us towards the right person at the right time. So, I encourage you to take a step back and reflect on your own experiences. Have you been feeling frustrated or uncertain about your love life? Have you been noticing any of these signals that might indicate God is guiding you towards something better? If you have any experiences or insights you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more videos on relationships and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
I appreciate you taking the time to watch and be here. If this video resonated with you or touched your heart, please consider supporting the channel by buying me a coffee. Simply scan the QR code or click the link in the description below. Your generosity keeps this mission alive. See you soon. God bless. If you're looking to overcome depression and anxiety by strengthening your spirituality, I invite you to check out my ebook, Soulful Transformations, Bridging Faith and Mind for Lasting Wellness, available on Kindle. This book combines cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, with biblical wisdom to help you manage stress, tackle anxiety, and find lasting peace through faith. It's not just about mental health. It's about deepening your relationship with God and transforming your life in ways that inspire others. Check the description below for the link and take the first step toward a life of spiritual and emotional wellness.